Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin. You're on Fast Entrepreneur. I'm just a regular dude. I'm driving, talking a lot about crypto. Want to get back into it. This is going to be a little bit longer, more just kind of a chat, a fireside chat. I want to talk about XEN CRYPTO. Not that I say is financial advice. Always do your own research. I just shot a quick video. I wanted to bring it to your all attention. XEN CRYPTO. I'm expecting it to launch, sometime soon. It could be this weekend. It could be, within a couple weeks. But regardless, I've looked it over. I think that it's definitely a very interesting project. It definitely requires. Well, here I'll break it down. So what it is, it was founded by a guy, Jack Levin, at Mr. Jack Levin. On Twitter. I actually came across this guy, a little while back. He was talking with Richard Hart, founder of Hex, PULSECHAIN, and they were just, chatting back and forth. And, I was I was intrigued just by kind of just Jack's flow, his style. I thought he asked some really good questions, very, inquisitive guy. Then I found out, he was an early employee of Google back number 21, which is cool. Actually, here, a little tidbit about myself. I actually, this was going way back. I actually applied. I interviewed for Google. I was interested. I was going to work in it was a 1-year program where you'd cycle through like 4 different departments. I live in New York, but they were all set. They were going to fly me over to the headquarters, for further interviews. And I just remember we got a major snowstorm. It shut down all the airports for a few days back then. And I guess with the scheduling, it was going to take several more months for an interview. So long story short, I never did end up moving along with that. I never did end up working for Google. But Google, I thought, was always a culture and just a place that I felt like I would have fit in and that I would have really enjoyed. So, anyways, that's just a side note. So I can kind of relate. I think Jack is a brilliant guy. I don't think that I think that's probably one thing that we don't have in common. I'm just a nut here, but I like to have fun. Let's see. So Jack Levin. Jack got involved mining in Bitcoin back in 2012, and it sounds like he's been successful. It sounds like he's also launched another company. I think it's was it Image Shack. So I think he's got some good experience. So anyways, he's launching his own token here. But once it launches, he doesn't own. There's no pre-mine, pre-sale. No special token set aside for him. He's just everybody is playing with the protocol the same way. What it allows you to do, and what is so interesting, is it's something called proof of participation. But it allows anybody to interact with the protocol. It's an ERC20, right? It's on the Ethereum blockchain for now. Eventually, it looks like will be on others. You simply pay a gas fee, interact with the protocol. You're not buying any tokens, but you're just simply paying a gas fee to interact with the protocol. You specify, how many days you want to mint for. So let's say you choose 100 days, and then you come back 100 days later, and you do it all again. You interact with the protocol. You pay your Ethereum gas fee at that time, and you can now receive your tokens, and if you want to, you can stake your tokens. So what is this all about? Now, staking the tokens, will pay a certain percentage, APR, for a certain number of years. It goes down over time. If you look at the contract, it's pretty simple. It's like a simple formula, like, how much XEN can you mint? Well, if you're early, then the earlier the better, right? The protocol looks like, I think, like 3,000 days he had mentioned. So maybe around 8 years you can mint. But as you go over time, just to give an example, order of magnitude looks like 1,000x just on that alone. Because when you first start out, I think you mint something like, I don't know, I forget the exact numbers, but you could look it up. Let's say it can mint 30,000, you know, on a 100-day mint or something. To me, I just realized the concept, very interesting. But towards the end of it, you're minting maybe like, you know, 3 a day or whatever. It just didn't seem like a lot towards the end of the contract. So the people that are minting this early, you know, it might seem like it's highly inflationary, there's not much value, but I think that's the interesting thing is the next feature in the contract is there are amplifiers, but one of the features is how many people join and interact with the contract after you. So when I first heard this, I thought, oh, you know, maybe it's like an affiliate program, you know, how many people you refer, you know, but then that would, you know, obviously it's not really an equal playing field because some people have really large networks. But when I look into it, it looks like it has nothing to do with that at all. It looks like everybody, you know, anybody can refer anybody to the platform, but it benefits everybody. So I thought that that was kind of neat. And listening to what Jack says is that the goal, I guess, is that if all these people are just minting all this, you know, Zen for free, over time, you may have, you know, tens of thousands, millions of wallets that now have, you know, this Zen just sitting there. And I think what was interesting is he was saying, you know, if you get to that point, this is where the network effect plays. Let's say now you actually become a valuable community above and beyond, you know, it's a way to mobilize people. You could potentially, you know, if you're a business in real life, you can offer discounts, services, have people pay with Zen that they already have. And so now you potentially, the utility for the Zen crypto token could be, you know, who knows, but it could have a lot of utility, things that we haven't even, you know, thought of. I like the fact that it's completely kind of thrown into the hands of the community. Similar, you know, it has similar aspects to like Hex. If you look at a lot of the user interfaces for Hex were made by a lot of the, you know, just regular folks. And, you know, now there's a lot of use cases, you know, for Hex. There's a lot of other projects that have kind of, you know, spurned and spawned, you know, just around that ecosystem itself. So pretty interesting. And I guess Jack's argument is, you know, well, it may not be worth much at the beginning because anybody can mint really as much as they want. Over time, you know, again, this is a big experiment, but over time, if it does become valuable, just because of the fact that, you know, some people have it and others in the future, it's going to be a lot harder to make and mint it. People may want to simply just purchase it, you know, like on a decentralized exchange or elsewhere, peer-to-peer. And so that's where I think it gets interesting. You know, I can't necessarily sit here and say how big this is going to be or price predictions. And because, you know, in theory, I guess this thing could have an infinite supply. So, you know, I think as time goes on, you know, because you have to pay gas fees, at least now, that is some sort of small barrier to entry, which I guess is good because it does, you know, you're not just going to probably get bots that, you know, sign up for tens of thousands of accounts just to have this stuff sitting there automatically. You know, there is, you know, at least a real world value, even if it's a few dollars, right? You still have to interact with the protocol at least twice. And let's say it costs you, you know, $3 and $3 or something like that. You know, so there is a cost to mint and a cost to claim. Again, if you don't show back up, if you say I'm minting for 100 days and you don't show back up in 100 days, there's a penalty. And the penalty seems to be quite severe. Like, you know, after a week, it's almost like most of your efforts were almost gone and wasted. You know, after even 1 or 2 days, you know, it's like you're getting slashed by, you know, pretty hefty percentages as that week goes on if you don't show up right away. So there is an incentive to, you know, if you're going to participate, proof of participation, you know, mint, and then come back and, you know, claim it and stake it if you so desire. What else? So yeah, you know, we're gonna have to wait and see, but I do think that if My question is what is the incentive for people? I mean, initially, it's a very interesting concept. I think a lot of people are going to be talking about. What will the incentive be, 6 months into the protocol? And I think that's what's going to be interesting is, will people still be sharing this, with fervor, as time goes on? And that's really going to be it. If people do, there's going to be a network effect. It's going to be, people are going to have that urgency of, well, hey, I better do it now rather than, wait a year or two. Because like I said, the curve to produce these new Zen tokens is, you can look at the formula, but it does go down, quite substantially from year to year. So, and then we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know in the short term what's going to happen here, but I'm very interested to watch. So anyways, that's kind of my thoughts and my ideas on what I'm seeing. I like it a lot, and I'm gonna plan to check it out, and it's something to monitor over time, I think, because I think as the network grows, if you start to see more and more wallets, the question is how many of those, if everybody's creating 100 wallets, how many unique individuals, we're going to have to probably estimate or guess how big the actual size of the community of human beings is. Because if you have, say you've got, a million wallets, but, that's only 10 people with 100,000 separate wallets. I mean, I don't know how big of a network 10 people is, but, I think we can make reasonable assumptions. So I am going to be looking forward to see how the wallet size, the wallet numbers grow over time. I definitely think early on, a lot of people are going to mint. Do I think that you have to mint on day one? Well, it looks like, either way, you're going to be minting a lot. And you can just, it's going to be pretty cheap to do so. So I think that's kind of going to be up to you. So I don't know if you necessarily have to be there day one, but earlier the better. But I think year one is better than year 2 and 3 for sure as time goes on. And, obviously if a lot of people are joining, in record numbers, you'll get that extra, boost in terms of how much that you're able to mint. If you do join up, even day one, and then say, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 people end up, joining on and interacting later on. Very interesting concept. I hats off to Jack, and yeah, just very interesting. And what? I've listened to this guy talk, just about other things. I've got to believe that, he's a smart guy, but I got to believe that, he's actually kind of seems like he's just doing this because he wants to make a bigger impact and hopefully, and it sounds like for the right reasons. It sounds like he's aligned his interest, at least so far that I know of, in that direction. So, it's nice to see people that, hopefully want to make a change and use their brains and their intellect and their skill set to do so. So pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing where this project can go. I'll probably, maybe in the future have some updates or whatnot. In the meantime, if it's something that you're looking to do, it's the faircrypto.org. Fair Crypto Foundation is the foundation that's set up. It has all the information and all the links. You can check out at Mr. Jack Levin on Twitter. And you can also see a lot of tutorials just by, folks in the community that are starting to talk about it. If you've got any questions, you got any comments, go ahead, put it down below. Again, it's an experiment, not financial advice. You're not buying anything here. You're not expecting anything from the work of others, but, you're participating in something, and potentially it could have some utility later on the road. All right, folks, that's all I've got. It is a long-term play, most likely, and that's all I got. So stay tuned. We'll have to see when this thing launches. Peace.